ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
It is Monday, May 20th. Your drive begins now here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. We're going to get the text line open this hour, 304-396-TALK. That's 304-396-8255. A couple of guests coming on the program today. We're going to be speaking with here in the next few minutes. Tyra Thomas, she's competing in the NCAA East Preliminaries in the women's 100-meter hurdles. That's coming up in Lexington on Thursday, so we're going to talk to her. And then a little bit later on, we're going to be speaking with Cabell Midland softball coach Herman Beckett. They're competing in the WVSSAC State Tournament. They got Washington. That's coming up on Wednesday. So we'll talk to Coach Beckett about 5:30. But until then, we got plenty of time for your text at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We got a pretty good show for you tonight. Again, with Tyra Thomas coming up on the program at 5:15. And then we've got Herman Beckett joining us at 5:30. Big news, baseball today. First off, Bryce Blevins, BB8, first team All Sun Belt Conference. That is something that we haven't seen in a while. Elvis Peralta did it in 2019. That's first team nod for Marshall since then. Earned 4 Sun Belt Conference Pitcher of the Week awards. Finished with a .345 ERA. That's fifth best in the Sun Belt. Had 71 strikeouts, including 28 looking. That's the second most in the Sun Belt. Also, if you look at what he was able to do, 15 appearances, 11 starts, and he pitched on a high in the Sun Belt, 86 innings. Pretty good performance from him. So baseball is done for Marshall. Marshall was swept by Coastal Carolina over the weekend. Lost the first game 6-3. Okay, that's disappointing. That kind of ends your postseason hopes. You had a slim shot, but that game ended it. And then Marshall got beat 12-2 in 8 innings. Finished a little bit better, 9-5 on Saturday. So finishing the season not the way you wanted to. Slight improvements from the baseball team. Slight. Few more wins. A few more in conference as well. Not where you want to see this team go, but at the same time, you lose 17 players, including 8 in the pitching staff and 9 batters. What's that mean for Marshall baseball now? That means you got 17 players you're losing. You have an opportunity here to maybe go get some new players. Especially with the transfer portal, you have a facility you can recruit to now. So we've eliminated all of the excuses here just about, I think, for Marshall baseball. Facilities, non-existent. Not treating baseball as if it's a real sport. Not putting anything into it. Okay. Upgraded the facilities. First-class facility. Everything is in place now. You got everything you need to win at baseball. All I need to do is go out and get some quality players, and now that's going to come down to how much is Marshall spending in recruiting, how much is Marshall spending in name, image, and likeness. That's going to be a big issue, and not just Marshall, third parties. There are a lot of collectives that are out there. How much of that's going to have an impact? Recruiting always going to be the lifeblood of the program. So Marshall has an opportunity here to go out and try to improve depth. I think Marshall has a good core. Depth is an issue. And Marshall also needs to work on getting the hits at the right time, getting quality hits, not leaving batters on base or runners on base. Good timely hits, good timely baseball. Just a little luck maybe, a little depth. I think Marshall's going to be all right, but that's next season. But that's where we're at with baseball now. So hopefully the Thundering Herd can get it done. You've got some room to work with now. You've got rid of all the excuses. You got a facility to build toward when you're looking at trying to create a program, and that's almost where you're at. It's like you're right back at ground zero. And I know there was some success under Jeff Wagner when Marshall had no facilities. Now you have facilities. You're going to have to upgrade what you've been able to do, and I think the Thundering Herd can do that as a program. So there is an effort to be put into this. You just didn't build this baseball park and go, okay, have fun. No, you're building towards a, hopefully, run in the championship. Look what you did with soccer. You built a facility for soccer, then Marshall was able to get the right coaching staff in there and able to take the program to a national championship. That was, 3 years ago? 3 or 4? Yeah. That was, they won the 2020 championship in 21. I think it was. It's been a few years. But Marshall's still contending for championships is what I'm saying. It's been a fun run so far. Speaking of recruiting, that's the lifeblood of the program. Well, a lot of you have been asking about, hey, what's going to be happening with basketball? Well, Marshall picked up a transfer, Jalen Spear. He's a guard. He's 6'1". He's 170 pounds. He's coming out of Florida A&M. That was his second stint at Florida A&M. He was there, and then he went to Santa Fe College. Probably didn't like it there. Went back to FAM, Florida A&M. So now you're bringing in somebody who played 19 games last year, started 18, led the team in minutes, pretty good shooting percentage, led the team in points, 15.5 a contest. Could bring down maybe close to 4 rebounds. So there's some things that you look at this guy and go, okay, this is a pretty good pickup, I think, for the Thundering Herd. And he was pretty good at Santa Fe as well. He scored more at Santa Fe than he did at Florida A&M, but still, you're stepping up in competition when you go from Santa Fe to FAM. Now you're going to be hopefully stepping up in competition in the Sun Belt, as I would think that the Sun Belt teams maybe are a little higher regarded than Florida A&M, you would think. And so you've got someone who was previously a MEAC all-freshman team selection, and he scored double digits a lot. You need some offense. Looks pretty quick from what we've seen of him. And here's a guy who definitely could bring a lot to the Thundering Herd. Also, football side of things, we're going to get a little bit more into this later, but Marshall picking up a linebacker, picking him up out of Tennessee State, previously at Arkansas State Bluff as well. So linebacker for the Thundering Herd, Monroe Beard III. Pick up for Coach Huff's squad. We'll get a little bit more into that. But we've got coming up in the next few minutes, we're going to be talking to Tyra Thomas. She's competing in the NCAA East Preliminaries in the women's 100-meter hurdle in Lexington on Thursday. We're going to talk to Tyra when we continue on today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Patrick Insurance would like to recognize and salute our veterans and local men and women in uniform. Let's remember them with our thoughts, prayers, and especially letters and packages from home. Our support will keep America strong. This message courtesy of Patrick Insurance at 301 South 3rd Street in Ironton. Trust their years of experience for all of your insurance needs. Call Patrick Insurance at 740-532-4793, 740-532-4793.
Giovanni's has great Italian dishes. Spaghetti with meat sauce, lasagna, ravioli, manicotti, all dinners served with hot garlic bread or Italian rolls. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
What's up?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple 100 years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think you would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
We continue on with today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Coming up this week, the NCAA East Preliminaries are taking place in Lexington, Kentucky. And one of the participants is Marshall's very own Tyra Thomas. She's back with us on the program. Good talking to you again, Tyra. You're back at this for the second year in a row. I'm sure last time felt really good, but this time I'm sure it feels even better.
Yes, sir. Being able to go to NCAA's for a second year feels great this time around.
What's different for you now that you've done this once and you're not new to it? What's different for you?
To be honest, I don't really feel anything different. Going into NCAA's last year, I didn't really have too big of an expectation. All I really wanted to do was go out and perform against some of the best people that I've watched from even before I came in college. I just wanted to, make a name for myself, and I feel like I did that. And this time around, I came in a higher ranking than I did last year, so that was pretty exciting. And I feel the same way I did last year. I'm going in free, just trying to have fun.
Going in free, having fun, that's always a formula for success. But at the same time, what do you think gives you an advantage this time now that you've been through it once? Is it that going in free, I'm playing with house money, or is your approach changed a little bit as far as how the season went for you, and now at this point, where you're at as a performer, as a runner?
I think my approach has really changed. Last year, I was more so worried about my time, trying to come across at a certain time, which I can say can be a disadvantage a lot of the times, because then you try and overcompensate and you forget your training. This time around, I know I just need to focus on my race and just try and execute instead of trying to focus on the time. I need to execute my race, do what my coaches have been teaching me, and the time will drop on its own.
You did pretty good at the Sun Belt Conference Outdoor Championship. You tied the school record in the hurdles, 13.39. You got a bronze. Not everybody walks away with a medal. You picked up a bronze. How'd you feel about your performance there? Can you do better?
I think I for sure can do better. I still felt that my performance was good because I was having some difficulties this season, but to go into the Sun Belt Conference and drop time like I did, I was really happy. But I think I have more in me, and I'm really looking forward to what I'll be able to achieve once I go to Kentucky.
Now, you've been around a little while, so things have changed with the Marshall track and field program, and you have a few new voices there, including Director Roberts. What's been different for you now that you have some different leadership and you know that the university is really taking an interest more so than ever in track and field and outdoor and indoor and crossing country, everything?
I actually like what's going on. Coach Roberts and some of the new coaches that have come in, I honestly feel like they're changing the program for the better. I do miss Coach Dentis, but I believe that Coach Roberts and Coach Tessa and all the new coaches that have been brought to us, I think they're all doing a really amazing job with us. And I genuinely believe that in these next coming years, Coach Roberts and his crew are going to make this program something that needs to be known of.
How much has he worked with you? I know he's got a lot on his plate, but how much has he been involved with you as you've progressed this season?
He's actually been very involved with me. He is the main coach, but he's also a hurdle specialist. So he does tend to work with the hurdle crew more than he does with the other athletes, and it's really awesome because sometimes he'll actually go over the hurdles with us just to show us he still got it.
Does he have it? Is he going at a slower speed? What's he got?
Nah, he still has it. Coach be going just as quick as the rest of us do.
Does he go up against you, or is he just showing for illustration? I mean, can you take him, you think?
Well, he hasn't gone up against us, but from when he demonstrates, I think I can take him.
Okay. I would hope so. I mean, he's not old, but he's not exactly young, right? He's still got it.
He's still got it, though.
Tyra Thomas is with us. She's getting set for the women's 100-meter hurdles. That's coming up in Lexington. That's going to be Thursday. How excited are you? You're going to be there, and you're not going to be the only one representing Marshall University. So that's got to be fun for you. It's always fun to be the one representing, but you got some other people with you as well, and that's including Abby Herring, that's Kylie Maston, Rebecca Merritt. How fun's that going to be having folks there with you that cheering you on and you're cheering for?
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. This is a different crew apart from me and Becca, but, Becca, she's going for 2 different events, which is amazing. I'm so proud of her. And then Abby, she went to NCAAs for cross country, so I already knew she had it in the bag. I knew she was going to be with me at NCAAs. And Kylie, hers was kind of more of last minute. We kind of got surprised with hers, but I'm so happy she was able to make it into performing with us at NCAAs, and I'm really excited to go with these girls and represent for Marshall.
Now, you mentioned Abby's done it once already, but is there anything that you or maybe Rebecca, you're saying to Abby, to Kylie, as far as what this event's all about?
Really, I can only just say, don't let who you see discourage you from doing what you know you can do. Because NCAAs can get really overwhelming because you see some of the best people. You see the top people in the country competing, and sometimes it can be like, oh, well, I'll just do what I can do, and I don't think I'll beat these people, but I can always try my best. But you should never go in a meet with that type of mindset. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what time you came in as. NCAAs, anything can happen. And so I just want to encourage my girls, do what you know you can do. You can come out and beat these people. It doesn't matter if they throw farther than you. It doesn't matter if they run faster than you. You still have the opportunity to beat them and to go to the next level.
My guest is Tyra Thomas. She's getting set for the women's 100-meter. That's coming up in Lexington. That's going to be Thursday. Hopefully this is going to be better for you. You mentioned there was some adversity. Outdoor championship, weather didn't help out as well. So I'm hoping that we get at least a better day than what you had to deal with at the Sun Belt Outdoor Championships. That's probably going to help you, not to deal with that rain, that weather, all that stuff.
Yes, sir.
Keep it dry is basically what we're saying. Keep it dry.
Yeah, it is hard to go over hurdles with a wet surface.
Where do you put yourself as this program is growing, as this program is developing, and you were seeing more and more success? Where do you put yourself when it comes to the foundation or the reason why we're seeing success more and more now?
I put myself as one of the team leaders. You know, there's a bunch of the older ones, including myself, who, you know, we tried to make sure we guided these freshmen and even the sophomores in the right direction. We tried to make sure they stayed encouraged no matter how they felt, no matter how they performed. And I honestly believe that with the guidance of us leaders, that between what the coaches are trying to instill and between what we were trying to help the younger kids understand, I honestly believe that the program can only go up from here.
Tyra Thomas is with us, competing in the NCAA East Preliminaries. And again, that's in Lexington. Thursday, you've got 6 p.m., so you'll be ready to go. Once this is all said and done, no matter how far you get, all the way, we hope you go all the way. What's next for you after this is done?
Well, I've always had the dream of being able to go pro. When I was before I was born, my mom, she was a track athlete as well, and she had the opportunity to go to the Olympic trials. And so I've always aspired to be like my mom, and I've wanted to go to the Olympic trials since I was a little girl. And I do hope to go pro, but of course, if I can achieve that, I do plan on going to medical school to become a cardiologist.
That sounds like a good game plan. Let's go pro first, get the Olympics, and then obviously you want to do this as well as be a cardiologist. Are you hoping you can stay around and with Marshall? Is that something that, you know, Marshall offers? You know, are you going to have to leave us?
No, I'm hoping to stay with Marshall.
Okay.
The community has been so great for me, and I genuinely believe that this community has helped with my development as a track athlete. And, you know, I love the herd. I will always be a daughter of the herd.
Hopefully we're talking about an Olympian for you as well. What would that just mean to you? Just the opportunity alone to fulfill that dream. Would it feel real to you even if you got there?
It feels so real. It's really something I've just been aspiring for since I was a kid. It's something that I've always wanted to do, and, you know, hopefully with God's guidance and Lord's willing, I can achieve it.
Now, your mom didn't run hurdles, right? She ran something else, right?
No, my mom was actually a 100, 400 runner.
Okay, 100, 400 runner, okay. And you can take her.
I don't know if I can take my mom.
Can she go today? Can she still go?
I think my mom can still go.
Does she go out there with you and go, all right, now let me see what you got and let me show you how it's done? Are those conversations happening still?
Yes, they do, actually. My mom, she was actually my first coach. She's been coaching me ever since I started running track. So my mom's always been the type to, if I'm not doing it right, she'll show me how I'm supposed to do it. So
have there been any of those mom conversations where mom comes up and she sees how you're doing things and she looks over at Coach Roberts and has him come over and has that awkward conversation? Does that happen?
I don't think they've ever had an awkward conversation. When I've seen my mom and Coach Roberts interact, it's usually like they do have good like coaching conversations just about how I'm developing, you know. Even sometimes Coach Roberts will ask her like about just how she thinks I'm doing, you know, asking her from her coach's perspective.
So you're getting it from everywhere then. You have the best coaching staff in the world, Coach Roberts and your mom.
Yes, sir.
She's going to be with you on Thursday, right? She's going to be able to make it?
I'm not sure if my family's going to be able to make it, unfortunately, but I am hoping, Lord's willing, that they will be able to come.
What would that mean to you if they can get there and make it for you?
It actually means a lot. Just to have my parents there with me, I always want my parents to be there for my big moments, and I honestly feel like I do better when I have them in those spaces because my family I'm very family-oriented, so their presence alone just makes me feel like a superhero.
Have they been able to be a part of some of your big moments this year?
They have. My mom and my dad actually surprised me at my first outdoor meet, which was so amazing because I didn't know they were coming. They literally just popped up before I had to run, and it was a very emotional moment for me because I'm from Florida, so I don't get to see my family a lot. So for my parents to surprise me in that way, it was just very emotional, and I was so happy to have them there.
My guest is Tyra Thomas. You weren't nervous, though, right? When they got there, you were excited, but no added pressure, no nerves. Just, okay, I'm here. Let's go.
It's never any added pressure. My mom, she always tells me it's important for me to have fun at the end of the day. It's important for me to not overstress myself and just go out there and compete like I know I can compete.
Tyra Thomas is with us. Getting set for the women's 100-meter hurdles. That's coming up Thursday, 6 o'clock. That's going to be in Lexington. Tyra, good luck. Hope you have fun. I know it's hard to say hope you have fun and say that with a straight face because I know, Becca's pretty funny. Abby, Kylie, they're kind of cut-ups. So keeping a straight face might be hard. Tyra, thanks for joining us. We'll do it again soon.
Thank you.
That's Tyra Thomas. Yeah, could you imagine being in a room with Abby Herring, Kylie Maston, and then I'm sure Rebecca Merritt's going to be – she might be the serious one in the group. I don't know. We'll find out. When we continue, we'll turn our attention to softball. Herman Beckett's joining us, Cabell Midland softball head coach there in the WVSSAC State Tournament. They face off against Washington on Wednesday in South Charleston. We'll talk to Herman when we continue on today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Experience the perfect blend of music and adventure at Whiz Bangers Ball. June 14th and 15th at the Summit, Bechtel Reserve, Glenjean, West Virginia, with performances by artists like Tyler Childers, John R. Miller, Arlo McKinney, and thrilling activities like ziplining. Whiz Bangers Ball is sure to be the ultimate summer experience. Whiz Bangers Ball with Tyler Childers and 14 more great acts. June 14th and 15th, Summit Bechtel Reserve, Glenjean, West Virginia. Tickets and more at whizbangersball.com.
Buddy's All-American Barbecue is now in Milton. Enjoy all your favorite Buddy's classics like pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more on East Main Street in Milton. Buddy's All-American Barbecue, the home of great barbecue, ice-cold beer, and killer wings in Huntington and now in Milton.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to our Thursday edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Coming up, We're going to get your text in 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Let's welcome to the program now the head coach of the Cabell Midland softball team, Herman Beckett, back in the WVSSAC State Tournament. Back again. It doesn't get old, does it, Herman? You're there. I think you should just take up residency in South Charleston.
We would love to take up residency in South Charleston. We've been there this will be the third out of the last 4 years. So, yeah, we like it up there, too. We like the scene.
Doesn't get old at all, and that's just a testament to the type of program you've built and that consistency. Yeah. At this point, just how hard is it to maintain that level? You always get kids coming in every year who, are either following behind a great group or they've heard about a great group ahead of them. So what's the challenge for you to always keep that consistency?
Well, our challenge is the whole coaching staff. We watch all the Little League programs. We watch the travel teams. And we know what we got coming in for the next year and what we have to start working kids at. We move kids around at the beginning of the season. Some of them don't care for it, but you look at them and say, hey, look who you got in this position. Can you beat them out? They probably not. I said, well, let's try another position. And also with the feeder system that we have, we've got kids now that are coming in out of Milton. We've got kids coming out of Ona, got kids out of Barbersville, Salt Rock, up on Route 2. So we've got a real good system going, and the fields in the Little League program, especially at Barbersville Park, they're all turfed and everything now. So that just makes it much easier, and they get all the games in during the season.
My guest, Herman Beckett, Cabell Midland softball coach, getting set for the WVSSAC State Tournament, taking on Washington Wednesday. And if you win, you're going to play the winner of University or Greenbrier East in the semis. You don't want to be in that loser bracket. And of course, your squad is so much experience, as you've mentioned. You've been there so often, so long. But I feel like there's some unfinished business for you after last season.
Well, our seniors have the unfinished business to take care of. Last year, we got in the loser's bracket after the first game. We came back and played for the championship. We just ran out of innings for Drea, and we had a problem after that, and we got beat. But this year, we've got some help this year pitching. We got 4 girls that can pitch and do a pretty good job of pitching. So we're loaded for that, and we think, all of us think, coaching staff, we think that Drea is the best pitcher in the state. And in the infield, player for player, it would be hard to find another team that can play defensively like we have with the experience that we have all around the whole infield and outfield. Because every one of them, started last year except center field. So, and we moved Addie Purdue over to center field, and she took it right over. And then we moved Ellie McCormill, and we moved her in left field, and we didn't miss a beat. Bats are pretty strong. Quinn obviously is with the home runs that she's got. She's a good bat. You got Bell, been hitting a lot, and the pleasant surprise this year for us on the hitting side is Jason, our coach, Harris. She's hit a bunch of them. She's hit home runs. She's hit 7 home runs this year. So that's a lot of home runs that we didn't expect to get this year. So that's pretty good. And I think all told, we've hit 41 home runs this year so far.
My guest is Herman Beckett, head coach, Cabell Midland softball squad, getting set for Washington. WVSSAC State Tournament's coming up this week. So what do we know about Washington for those maybe that aren't that familiar with Washington?
Hey, they have a great pitcher. They come out of a pretty tough district with Jefferson. We got to see Jefferson a couple of weeks ago. We saw Jefferson University and Morgantown. And we went up there and played a round-robin type tournament. and we got to see all of those. We didn't get to see Washington. Washington has a pitcher that's absolutely as good as anybody that we faced or will see this year. I think her name's Constantina, and she's got a good rise ball, good drop, good hitter. She's probably the strongest player on the team. I'm not saying that they don't have other players that are strong, but she's probably one of the best athletes that we'll face all year. And we've faced them good because we've been through Murderers Row, we've been through Wheelersburg, said the 3 teams up north, all the MAC teams here. We've had a rough schedule. I mean, we've played a tough schedule to get ready for this right here, and I think the girls are ready to go up and finish the job that we started last year.
And coming off a 2-game sweep against Hurricane in the Region 4 championship, that always makes the home fans happy when you get a sweep over Hurricane.
That makes a lot of people's seasons beating Hurricane. And let me tell you, we started out, Hurricane wasn't one of the better teams in the state, but by the end of the season, she had those girls playing in the top 5 bracket. She was, they played good at the end of the season. Them and Lincoln County both. I mean, this and Spring Valley, this section down here in region is no cakewalk for anybody because you had 4 of the top 7 or 8 teams in the state team coming right out of this section. And you can't forget St. Albans. They were a great little ball club.
So it feels like if you come through, you win this part of the state, you win this region, or you come out of the Mountain State Athletic Conference, you might be the favorite. I don't know if that's fair or not, but you might be the favorite.
Well, if they think we're the favorite, we'll take that. Just the way we feel and the way we've taught the girls all year. Bring them on. Let's try and see what they've got. If they beat us, more power to them. But they're going to have their hands full. I don't care who we play. And they have so far this year, except 5 times, we've done a real good job.
Herman Beckett's with us.
We score quite a few runs.
Herman Beckett's with us, Cabell Midland softball coach. What kind of crowd can we expect? I know this doesn't get old. Fans are making residency, as we talked about already, and South Charleston. What can we expect? Because I know, Cabell Midland fans, they come and support everything.
Well, we have a good support sport that comes. They travel with us well, and that's just like when we played Lincoln County. I have never, since I've been here, and I've been here 20-some years, I've never seen a crowd like that when we was playing Lincoln County. Well, when we go up, we play Hurricane, the same thing. And then when we play at Hurricane, it was the same thing. Good, loud crowd. Both teams cheered them on hard, and that's what we like. The louder, the better.
My guest is Herman Beckett, getting set for the state tournament. You got Washington, and then if you win, you're looking at University or Greenbrier East in the semifinal. You're looking at one of those 2 teams anyway, so once you get past Washington, it doesn't get any easier.
No, sir, it doesn't. We played University. We beat them. I don't remember what the score was, but we beat them once. Greenbrier East is the unknown in the tournament. We don't know that much about them. We got a scouting report on Washington, and we've seen a couple of their videos on and things. So, but the Greenbrier East is the unknown. We don't know about them. University has a great pitcher, and they play a pretty good defense. So they're not a bad team. Well, you don't get to the state playoffs here in West Virginia if you're not a pretty doggone good team. So I would say you've got 4 of the top 6, 7 teams in the state there right now to play for the state championship. And it's going to be interesting.
Herman Beckett's with us.
We feel that our pitching is as good as anybody in the state. and I'm sure that and I'm sure Washington thinks their pitchers as good as anybody in the state. So it's going to be interesting. And like to have all the fans come out, watch some good softball, it's fast action, and everybody have a great time.
Herman Beckett's with us, head coach, Cabell Midland softball. State tournament's coming up on Wednesday, taking on Washington, a familiar place to Cabell Midland fans in Little Creek Park in South Charleston. Herman, good luck. We hope to have you back soon talking about a championship. It's going to be a tough few days for you, but we know what this program's about. So good luck, and let's talk about a championship here in the near future.
All right, thank you very much. I like the way you think anyway.
Hey.
So thank you very much.
Hey, look, yeah, you're my guy. Cabell Midland, you're my guy. You know, I like the local teams. All the local teams are mine. You know, so no offense to Washington or Greenbrier East or University, but, you know, Cabell Midland's my team right now.
Well, we plan on giving you the victory you want us to have.
Absolutely. I love it. Thanks, Herman. We appreciate it.
You have a great evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hey, you got to support the local teams. The local teams. That's what we do. This is the local show. That's the advantage here. I can support Cabell Midland over the others. Well, no offense. You know, hey, look, I like Greenbrier East and University. I don't know much about Washington, but gotta go with the local people. So we're all rooting for Cabell Midland here these next few days. Quick timeout. We'll get your text in 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. More coming up on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Get ready for summer parties with big savings at Menards. Shelter Logic event canopies provide shade and weather protection for tailgating and outdoor gatherings. Their heavy-duty steel frames have slip-fit connections for easy assembly. With so many options, you can find the perfect one for you. Check out all the options in store and find more great deals in our weekly flyer on Menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
Giovanni's Pizza. Fresh, hot, and tasty. Have it delivered right to your door. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
The more vulnerable among us can fall victim to abuse, neglect, and financial exploitation. When navigating your way out, it doesn't have to feel like a maze. Assistance is available from Adult Protective Services. To report neglect or abuse, call 800-352-6513. Sponsored by the Administration for Community Living, West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources Bureau for Social Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station.
This project was supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $383,493, with 75% funded by ACL HHS and 25% in the amount of $85,236 funded by state government sources. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Whoosh. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
Sup?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think he would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The Forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to the Monday, May 20th edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK. That's 304-396-8255. 5. Hope you all had a great weekend where you look ahead to the rest of the week. We don't have baseball tonight, unfortunately for you. We get back with that tomorrow as the Pittsburgh Pirates are off today. But as I mentioned, baseball coming back tomorrow. We've got all that action for you right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. The Pirates did get the victory over the Cubbies yesterday, 3-2. Guardians got the win over the Twins, 5-2, and the Reds fell to the Dodgers, 3-2. So Giants are up next for the Pirates. We go on the air tomorrow. 6:40 is going to be first pitch. We'll go on the air 25 minutes prior to that, always on ESPN 94.1 at AM 930. The Guardians start a 3-game interleague home series tonight against the Mets. First pitch set for 6:10, and the Reds are off today. They've got a 3-game home series against the Padres tomorrow. Busy go of it in the NBA last night. The New York Knicks, the team that all of ESPN was rooting for, the one team that Stephen A. Smith was pleading to win, get it done, making a fool of himself, and the Pacers got the victory over the Knicks, 130-109. I'm a Knicks fan, but I'm going to be honest with you, they're like my secondary team. I'm a Lakers fan. They're not even in the playoffs. I'm a Lakers fan. But I do like the Knicks. I go back to when Rick Pitino was the coach of the Knicks. I like him. I liked Patrick Ewing when I was a kid. So I still kind of have a spot for the Knicks, but they made it hard to really root for them. So, I got to be honest with you. I wasn't like a diehard, all right, on the bandwagon for the Knicks. I like the Knicks, but some of the folks over at ESPN went hard on the bandwagon, and the Pacers shut that down. Timberwolves got the victory over the Nuggets 98-90 in Game 7 of the Western Conference semifinals. Timberwolves come back from a 20-point second-half deficit. That's the largest in Game 7 history. It is the Timberwolves' first Western Conference Finals appearance in 20 years. Ben Anderson, were you even born the last time the Timberwolves were in the Western Conference Finals? You were alive, but barely alive. An infant. This was the Nuggets' 5th Game 7 in the last 6 seasons. Guess what? They are the 5th consecutive defending champion to fail to reach the conference finals the following year. So the Pacers got the Celtics. That's going to be 8 o'clock on May 21st. You know what that is. That's tomorrow, right here on Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340, because we'll have Pirates baseball tomorrow. So NBA games all on Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340. The Mavericks take on the Timberwolves. That's going to be on the 22nd. That's going to be an 8:30 airtime on TNT. We'll also have that over on Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340. We get a Game 7 in hockey. The Oilers beat the Canucks 5-1 on Saturday. Series tied up at 3 games apiece. So we have got Monday night hockey, Oilers and Canucks, Game 7. That's going to be a little bit later, 9 o'clock coming up tonight on ESPN. So I'll be watching a little bit of that. And, of course, they will take on the Dallas. Dallas will get the winner of Edmonton and Vancouver in that one. I haven't paid much attention to the West. I'm focused on the East because Florida is going to take on my beloved New York Rangers, and that series gets underway Wednesday. The Rangers are the underdog, and I've already had arguments with people telling me how much better Florida is than New York, but yet the President's Cup winner is getting no respect. None whatsoever. Hey, we did have some good news coming out of Marshall today. We've been talking a lot about all the things that have been happening with baseball. And I just want to update a note on baseball. Of course, everyone knows that Bryce Blevins is phenomenal. And he got first team All Sun Belt Conference. It's the first time since Luke Edwards did it in 2022. And then you go back to 2019 against Elvis Peralta. So it was Elvis in 2019 and then Luke Edwards in 2022. So it's happened. It's been few. hopefully it'll be more of an occurrence than a pleasant surprise. But Bryce Blevins, first team All Sun Belt, fortunately for the Thundering Herd. Marshall season ends. And then, of course, Blevins won't be in the Appalachian League. He wasn't going to get much of a opportunity anyway. They were going to keep him on a pitch count, and so he's not going to be participating. But that's not going to mean there's still going to be – there's going to be some good opportunity for players. You're going to see some good baseball coming up with the Colecats. But the one thing I was hopeful for, but I would rather think long-term, is Bryce Blevins won't be a part of the Colecats. So congratulations to him. And the other good news coming in for the Thundering Herd, just a couple of things. First of all, softball NFCA all-region recognition. Brooklyn Ulrich named to the Central All-Region first team and first team All-Sun Belt member. And then Bella Gerlach named to the NFCA third team All-Central Region. Of course, Sun Belt Conference second team member. So congratulations to them. And then we've been following along a little bit what's been happening with Paige Banton, senior over at Marshall Swimming and Diving, has really gotten a lot of good work out of Paige. She reached the B final in both the 100 and 200 breaststroke event. She secured top 20 finishes in each at the 2024 Canadian Olympic and Paralympics trials in Toronto, Canada. So, good job. Hopefully, we'll see more from her in the future. But still, to get to the final, top 20 finish, get to the final. There were a lot of people competing. So this wasn't just okay, the numbers worked for her. No, she had to beat a lot of people. So congratulations to her on that. We'll get your text in here, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter writes in and says that they're excited that Jalen Spear is going to be signing with the Thundering Herd, and hopefully we'll see more names soon. Also, as I mentioned earlier, we'll talk more about football here. We've got to get back into football mode. Marshall signing linebacker Monroe Beard III from Tennessee State. Good defensive player. He is 6'1". He's 220-pounder. He went to Tennessee State. For that, Arkansas State Bluff. He was a All Big South OVC first-team defensive player. He was also Big South OVC Defensive Player of the Week and led the team with 95 tackles. First in the OVC, 4 tackles as well. There you have it. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back with you tomorrow here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Retransmitting on Glorious FM on 94.1 W227BS Huntington. This is 930 WRVC Huntington, celebrating 100 years of broadcasting.